David Jaffe, I think is how you pronounce this guy's name. He is the original creator of God of War. Oh, I love God of War so much. I love everything about the series. I played all the first three games. It came out in like 2005, and I loved 2016 and I loved Ragnarok. Mr. David Jaffe here has gone through quite a transition in his life. He used to be kind of cool, and he created this game. He was the mastermind behind it when he was younger. But as he's gotten older, his views have changed, and this dude has gone just straight up, full to the left, full woke. And there has been this controversy going on between him and Vara Dark. Now, Vara Dark is this YouTuber, and let me actually just read you the description on her page. Don't want to misrepresent. I talk about video games, entertainment news, manga, anime. There you go. Comics, and other topics that interest me. I stream everything from AA game releases to iconic classes. So what we're going to do is we're going to give a little bit of history first because this topic interests me. And I want you guys to watch a clip of Mr. David Jaffe. This is back right after he created God of War 1. And so this had to have been almost 2 decades ago. And I want you guys to just listen.
Asked in an interview, how did he create this universe? Here was his response.
So let's talk about.
First of all, hot interviewer. Miss those.
How God of War started. How did you even come
Nowadays,
up with the
they're all
idea
gay
for this
dudes.
brand new universe, as you were saying?
Well, you're a dick. In the best possible way. That even sounds not good. No, but no, seriously. So I had always wanted to do a game that felt like you were going on this big adventure, and so that and my initial love of Greek mythology were sort of the initial ideas of, hey, let's make a God of War, or let's make a Greek video game. And then there was a sense of, brutality and violence, frankly, is something that a lot of gamers that sort of embrace this genre like, and we were kind of like, well, what if we kind of mix that with Greek mythology, which was very violent and very sexual and very adult, and if you read it. And so that's sort of where it all really began. Everybody already knows it's a team effort.
So far, no one has a problem with this. Keep in mind, this is like 20 years ago, before Me Too, before the left started, just making thing and contaminating everything.
That Jaffe didn't do God of War 1 by himself, but until Corey came on and brought the animation to Kratos, it was like I could show everybody videos of Russell Crowe and Romper Stomper till the fucking cows come home. But I did. I said, you see how he's slamming this guy's head into the bar?
He actually explained what the character was. Oh, sorry, but he said it was.
And if you haven't played the actual God of War games, they're hack and slash, kind of like Devil May Cry. The first 3, and really all of them before, cause the spin-offs too, like Chains of Olympus, before 2016, and then they completely switched up the genre in 2016. Before they were hack and slash, there was like sex scenes, a few at the beginning of every game where you just smash a button. It's just blood. Kratos he's not even an anti-hero, he's a villain. He's just killing the pantheon of all the Greek gods. It's awesome. It's pure gamer stuff, it's bro stuff, it's guy stuff. Well, they switched it up in 2016, 2018, and it became, it built upon it, and it became, there was some of that stuff still, the blood, the fighting monsters, the adventure, in the Norse pantheon, but it became a father-son story, and one of the best stories I've ever seen.
Martin Riggs and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
That was the example you gave. First day on the job, he's like, hey, Greek mythology, he's Martin Riggs and he's Russell Crowe. Go.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys. These are dudes, man. Like, just take a look at the audience. These are all dudes. There's a chick right there. But, they're this guy's not in the best shape. They're not like athletes or anything, but these are gamers. This is like my generation growing up, man. Like, there's no, like, super tight jeans or weird colored hair and piercings all over. Like, this is my generation right here, man. Maybe a little bit older. Let's see, if this was 20 years ago. Yeah, these guys are older than I would have been. I would have been younger teens, early teens around this time. But look at how the difference is, and just like even though these guys are gamers and stuff, just how much more masculine they would be versus an audience today. You can only imagine.
Everything fed into everything else. And my favorite story about that just really shows how incestuous it is that Charlie was doing, I went to him and I said, do a version of Kratos like Ed Norton from American History X when he was the Nazi, right? Because he was just so, I mean, he's a Nazi, but in terms of his physique, that scene where he curb stomps that guy and he's like, ah, and it's like, holy shit, he's badass, you know? And
did you hear what he just said? He's referring to Ed Norton in American History X. And he says, yeah, he's playing as a Nazi, but it's that scene where it crushes the guy's head, and he's like, this is awesome, this is cool. I thought Nazis, everyone's a Nazi. Everyone who's just slightly to the right of you is a Nazi. It's all white ring supremacy and far right and Nazis here, Nazis there. It's all evil and should be done away with. Trump's a Nazi, you know. But here, interestingly enough, he's giving this example, and he says, "Yeah, this guy was portraying a Nazi in a film, but man, this is awesome because of the action." Huh? I wonder if he'd say something like that today.
And so he kind of did. It didn't look like Ed Norton, but it had that vibe.
Gave birth to the story of Kratos, and it's an amazing story. In the original games, he goes on this blind rage. His rage consumes. You know what? I'll spoil it. He goes on this blind rage, and he ends up accidentally killing his own family, and their ashes go to his skin and turn him all white. And he can't live with the guilt, and so he starts to partner up with the goddess Athena, and so that she can get rid of these memories in his mind so that he can actually finally have peace for the guilt of killing his family. Well, she doesn't do that, and he ends up getting pissed and kills them all. It's amazing. But now that we've seen that, I do want to bring up this clip, which was taken, and it is Mr. David Jaffe's current opinion of God of War. And I just kind of want you to see the difference and how he shifted his mindset and what he's thinking. And we're going to get into the Vara Dark stuff real soon.
By the way, remember Encanto? Anyway, here's what Bruno says. He says, you could say that a lot of our projects and our games and the way we approach them kind of reflects a little bit about the studio's personalities and personal experiences. The previous games in the Greek era, perhaps that was our college years, and now we have all grown up and have families of our own. We try to reflect those personal experiences also through Kratos and through some of the other characters he interacts with. Now, I want to tell you something about this shit.
So just to reiterate, just in case you weren't paying attention, the guys who created the new God of War games, 2016, when was Ragnarok released? Whenever. Ragnarok. What they're saying is, you know, they had different experiences when they were younger, and they played those original games, but now they've gotten older, and they have families, they have real world experiences, and they wanted to put some of that into the new games. Let's hear what Mr. Jaffe says.
Liked very much. I thought 2018 was great. Ragnarok, not my cup of tea. But this is the problem with Indiana Jones. I don't want these characters to grow. I don't give a fuck what you're going through at the studio. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. If you're going to build a brand new IP, or you're going to build a character into the God of War lore, and that character is struggling or dealing with your problems that a lot of you guys that have gotten older and girls at the studio have dealt with, that's wonderful. Do that shit all day long. But don't take the character Kratos or Indiana Jones and go, you know what? I'm Steven Spielberg. I'm older now, and I'm really into family, and I want to tell stories about fathers and sons and God. No, fuck you. That is not what this character is, whether it's Indy or whether it's the...
So I think what he's doing is he's misrepresenting a little bit what's going on here. On the surface level, it sounds like he could have a good point, because it's like, hey, there's an established character here, so don't put your like personal beliefs and stuff onto him and change him and stuff like that. And he's kind of advocating, it sounds like, against that. That's not really what he's saying, though. If he was saying that, then I'd kind of get behind that, because we see that a lot nowadays with all the woke stuff. You know, you have established characters with lore and stuff, and they modernize it and stuff, and they completely screw it up. That's not what they did with Kratos, though. And if that's what he's trying to assume that they're doing, that's not what they did at all. Basically, Kratos has always had a good story. He's always been an interesting character. And all they did was shift up, a lot of how the game works and the mechanics. It's no longer a hack and slash, but they just built upon the story that's already there. And they're not putting their personal issues or something into this character. What they're saying is, as when they get older and they marry and have children and stuff, they're putting real world experiences that we all go through, that many of us experience, very relatable characteristics into this character. And so they're not ruining it. They're not trying to make it something it's not. They're just building upon it. And they're doing it with really good storytelling too. It's not trying to push some kind of agenda for basically propaganda, which is what you always see on the left. No. They're taking a character. They're being very respectful to the original source material. If you ever placed 2016, was it 2016 or 2018? I think it was 2016. And then Ragnarok. If you ever play those games and you have played the original, there is a butt ton. You don't have those games without the first three. There's so many references. Everything that Kratos is and who he has become, and Atreus, it's all built upon that. It falls in line perfectly. It makes perfect sense.
Goddamn Kratos, okay? I just stop. I get it. I don't know. It's just like someone needs to be able to tell these people no sometimes and say, look, we love that you're arty-farty. We love that you're taking shit from your personal life. We love that you're treating them.
In another context, I might agree with him depending on what he was talking about. First time I ever saw this guy, and his age now and what his beliefs, he was doing a podcast on side scrollers. He was there, the guy of side scrollers. Sorry, dude, I forgot your name. Melanie Mack was there, and he was going all off on the trans community and how he's so pro-trans, and his son or daughter or whatever is trans now, and they chose that at a young age, and we need to give children choice for trans stuff, and it's all about kids and transitioning and stuff. Like, that's all he was talking about. And Melanie Mack's a hardcore Christian. She's like, no. And and I remember him on there. And so I was like, man, this dude created God of War? What happened to you, dude?
Medium, and Sony always has, as an art form as well as a business. We get it, we love it, we support it, but somebody still needs to step up there and go, you need to do all that within the pen that we've put up a fence for you, and if you step outside, the electric shock collar is going to get you. You need to do all that within the pen that says this is what God of War is. This is what Indiana Jones is. And if you want to make something that's not that, that's cool, but don't fucking call it God of War and don't fucking call it.
I mean, again, under another context, I could see where he's coming from. Like, I don't like the idea of taking the old-fashioned comic book characters and then modernizing them and completely rewriting who they are, what they stood for. But it's a different scenario here, because God of War built upon all that other stuff. It respected it. And the current story makes perfect sense. It falls in line with it. So it'd be one thing if they gave Kratos, I don't know, like, put him in a dress and gave him like a gay lover or something, and then he went around just, I don't know, doing farm work, and the whole game was like a farming simulator or something. This guy would be right if he was. I'd be like, yeah, that's not Kratos at all. But going into God of War 2018, again, 2018 or 2016, one of those. Going into that first game, God of War 4, they built upon it. They respected it. It makes sense, and it's good storytelling. It's not like a perversion of the character.
And I think the character model for Atreus is most of the reason I don't like him, says Brett Moore. In the new one, yeah, Atreus, a lot of people, I was even listening to Gene at the Game Awards when this trailer dropped, and Gene Park was saying he didn't want Atreus. I think everybody, it's weird though. I don't think there's, like, nobody complains when you're playing Ellie about Joel, or in the first game, nobody complained when you're Joel about Ellie, but a lot of people complain about Atreus. I like him. I liked him.
No, they don't. They did at first, before the game started, but after the game came out, no one was complaining about him. Just the same way about Odin and Thor, the design in Ragnarok, a lot of people were worried and complaining about that. You didn't hear really any complaints after the game come out. No.
In Ragnarok, he was a cool character, but there is kind of a consensus amongst a bunch of people that that he's
How
not
many?
very well loved, and I wonder what that is.
Yeah, I wonder what people you're talking about. Is it your small little group on Reddit or
I
something?
wonder what that is. Bookster says, I hated Ellie in the
I
last
wonder if he's bothered by Atreus because, again, he has this child of his own, this young child, from what I understand, that's like believes he's a girl or she's a boy or something. So seeing a traditional father-son story might upset this guy a little bit.
one. I hate a
Now it's time for the meat and potatoes. I wanted to show you a little bit before and after, but now let's get into the Vara Dark stuff. So this video came out just a couple days ago, and it's Mr. Jaffe making a video about Vara Dark, and let's hear what he has to say.
Jokes about the Trump.
Now this is around the whole Dragon Age, Belgard stuff, which the game, from all the gameplay footage I saw, was trash. But she played throughout the whole game, gave her opinion, basically said it was trash. And I think that's what's going on. And he has some
Attempted
pushback.
assassination wasn't funny, and how David here said that he thought it was kind of suspicious and it might have been staged, and that wasn't cool. But he whipped out a book about the WWE and Vince McMahon and said, oh, there's a lot of information about Trump in here and how he's good at understanding an audience and entertaining a crowd. But that's literally anyone in life, let's be honest. Every single political candidate is just trying to convince you to vote for them. Trump is just extremely good at it. But at the end of the day, every single politician is like this. But instead, he decides to single out Trump, which is just absurd.
There's a book. I had the author on my show.
Now this is David Jaffe's channel. This is his perspective. This is where he's coming from.
Ringmaster. It's a great book. There is an entire chapter about the relationship between sex creep offender, some of the shit he's alleged to have done, Vince McMahon and Donald Trump. Him and,
as you can imagine, he's not a Donald Trump fan.
Vince McMahon have a close relationship. They talk a lot.
I don't know if that's true. I know his wife, I believe, worked with and is working with Trump now on his second term. I think it's his wife, something McMahon. But she was there with him in his first administration, I think.
And he breaks it down into how Vince McMahon's tactics of building up an audience and staging things and doing kayfabe, which, again, look into it, is being, according to the author, replicated as Trump was the president, ran for president, and ran for president again. It's just... read a little bit. You've got to do the research, lady. I didn't just pull out some rando book on the WWE. I pulled out a book about the fucking thing I was speaking about. And do I think Trump's assassination was staged? I don't know. But I'll make a deal with...
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the rest of this video. I just watched like the first minute or so, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go into this. I haven't heard him say that. Okay. Most of these reactions are just fresh, I just watched the first minute or so, and I'm like, okay, I'll cover this. Was Trump's assassination staged? I don't know. Yeah. All right, we got one of those. This guy, he's down the rabbit hole, everyone.
If you think that's beyond the pale and hard to believe, I don't know. Then you guys talking about, hell, going back to Barack Obama not being a citizen.
Oh, yes. Yes. Questioning whether a guy is a citizen or not is on par with whether an assassination attempt of an ex-president, currently running president, who gets hit in the air with a bullet. Yeah.
Or you guys talking about kids
Dude, this
going
is
to school
delusional.
and coming home a different sex.
Your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides what's going to happen with your child.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with which political party, Vera, offers up a trough of horse shit? Who's got the most horse shit?
Yeah, they would actually be easy if you start digging through this stuff. It's pretty clear.
I mean, you're not educated enough You're not bright.
That's normally the classical defense, isn't it? It's like, well, I'm just, it's that classical smug liberal kind of far lefty defense. It's like, well, you're just stupid. You're just an average person. You're not educated like me. I went to school. I read books. You're just a normal person. You're uneducated. Therefore, your opinion doesn't matter.
Enough, Vara, to talk to me or to talk about what I talk about. You're just not.
You're just below me. You're just beneath me. Therefore, my opinion is more valid than yours.
Also said, oh, he's older than me, so he knows more about politics than I do, and that I should, quote, go fuck myself. So I'm one of the grifters he's calling out, even though his definition of a grifter is somebody sitting online, making videos, talking about a game, when he's literally doing the same exact thing. Now,
is that my definition of a grifter? Where are you getting that, Vara Dark, from? Again, Vara, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education here. Jaffe's definition of a grifter is literally sitting online talking about games. You don't believe me? Not a problem. Vara Dark here for you with all the facts. That's what they do. A grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video games, Vara Dark. You just don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. You are in that chair, Vara, because of your hair and your face and your gender.
Okay, really? Okay.
And that's fine, by the way. There's no...
Oh, it's fine. You're in that chair because your hair, your face, and your gender. So because you're a chick, remember, this is one of the PC guys. This is one of those believe all women types. This is one of those feminism is awesome guys. And he's saying to her, the only reason you're successful is because you're a chick and you're pretty. Seems a little sexist to me.
Problem with that.
A little hypocritical.
I don't deny anyone making money and building an audience off, the things that they've got. But let's be clear. So far, my encounters with you online, you are kind of you're a mental lightweight.
And again, he's not really countering any of her arguments. And, he's not giving examples of why she's wrong. There's just that one where he talks about the definition of a grifter. So she didn't give an example of him giving his definition. So he responds and says, no, that's not my definition. Here's what my definition is. So fine, fair enough. But aside from that, all he's doing is just constantly insulting her. And that's normally what it is. It's like, okay, this person has an issue with me. And the proper response is, well, this is why they're wrong. Here's X, Y, and B. But this guy, you always see this, always, when it comes to the left. It's, let me demean this person. Let me go after their character. That's why you get all these words like sexist, racist, bigot, homophobe, and stuff. And one of the classic examples is, let me just pretend I'm smarter and this person's just dumb. They're stupid. They're uneducated. And you don't really address anything that they're actually saying.
That's fine. People have all kinds of, you know what I'm bad at, Vara? I'm bad at math, man. You have about as much mental capacity as a spider that I killed.
So he's just going to go on a tangent of just never-ending insults. Like, that's it? Is that all this video is? It's done, look.
In my shower this morning. It's the goddamn truth, Vara.
He had her speak for like less than 60 seconds, and he just spends the entire video just throwing out insults. It's like, wow, do you have any better argument than that? Because when she talks about, well, you know what? Instead of me doing it, why don't we see her response on her channel and see what she has to say?
On this tirade about how YouTube grifters killed Dragon Age the Veilguard when it was just a pile of trash that absolutely nobody enjoyed, but he decided to target certain content creators, myself included, and he's even going so far as to say that I am only successful because I'm a woman. I have a few different...
Now, this is Vara Dark's channel.
Things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I think that this is hilarious because we are talking about the type of person who preaches for diversity and inclusivity until it comes time to support inclusivity of thought and diversity of opinion, but also I am a woman who happens to have a voice, and I have this platform that I'm extremely grateful grateful for. But he is mad that I even have it, going so far as to say that I am a, quote, mental lightweight. So this really only all started because he got called out for his awful Dragon Age take. God of War's director, David, blames YouTube grifters for killing Dragon Age the Veilguard, which is absurd.
And compares transgenderism to being black? What? Yeah, he's a big super duper trans advocate. I have a feeling that over half the trans community probably don't want that, but hey, you're the voice of reason for all of them, right? This is a dumb take too. I've watched several hours of people playing this trash game. It is a trash game, okay? It's not that YouTubers killed it or something.
Not kill this game. What we do online is we voice our opinions. Now, I, of course, live streamed a full playthrough on the channel from start to finish. I gave my take. I did a review at the end of those live streams, and I just simply did not enjoy it. It did not feel like Dragon Age. I was sick and tired of the modern terminology being shoved in your face, like transgender and
Yeah, there's literally an entire scene where the characters are talking about like pronouns and stuff and how we should address each other. It's insane.
Binary, having to pick your pronouns. I think that's ridiculous in a fantasy dragon game. That's just my take. He's allowed to say that he thinks it's fine. It is what it is. But we did not kill this game. What we did was we gave our opinion, and when it comes to actually talking about some of the people behind this project, they really do seem to hate gamers, so we just called it all out. And he's furious that our voices matter, that content creators have a voice, but also that it's so easy for people to, at the end of the day, give their opinions. For an average person, maybe like you watching,
yeah,
he is
free speech, baby.
At that. And you know, I understand that he's a little bit salty. He's not relevant anymore. He used to be extremely relevant.
Yeah.
He's got this YouTube channel with, I think, like 55,000 subscribers, which is still pretty good. Don't get me.
Yeah, it's not bad. But he has changed so much. Like he has shifted with the culture. He's not the same person at all anymore.
Wrong, but it's clear that he's just a little bit angry that this is the situation, and he actually decided to make this post over on X saying, you don't have to like me and certainly don't have to agree with me, but please don't lie about what I say, and if you are going to try to attack me, please be smart enough to do so Vara Dark, otherwise I'll feel like I'm picking on a little kid. First of all, he could not even spell my name right when it's right in front of his face, but okay, I suppose I'm not going to nitpick here, but he had a complete and utter meltdown and spazzed out after
which we just watched.
Him. God of War's director had a total meltdown and spaz out after he was roasted by YouTuber Vara Dark. Dark roasted him in a recent video upload covering Fandom Pulse's article where he blamed so-called YouTube grifters for killing Dragon Age the Veilguard. I said he's, you know, a very salty that average people can take to social media and voice their opinions, as I just said. I will link the original video down below just because I don't think I should go over every single talking point. He talks about the Trump assassination and
yeah, he responds to that, but then he hardly says anything. It's just this never-ending barrage of, she's dumb, she's dumb.
And me calling him out on him saying he believed it was staged. He brings up books and how he is telling me to just read a little bit. I've got to do research. And, you know, as time goes on, it gets even worse for him because heading on over to this Smash JT article, he said, quote, you are in that chair, Vara, because of your hair and your face and your gender. And that's fine, by the way. There's no problem with that. But let's be clear. You're a mental lightweight. I am in this chair because I genuinely believe the things I'm talking about, because I genuinely want the video game industry to be better. I am sitting in this chair because there are not enough voices when it comes to the gaming industry and trying to protect the previous franchises that are getting absolutely destroyed by activists right now. I am sitting in this chair because not a lot of other people will. And I'm not saying that there's no one, right? There are tons of amazing content creators who are—
You see how much more coherent she is? And I haven't watched this video either, but just how much more coherent she is just like, hey, here's what I believe in, here's what I'm doing, here's why I feel this way, versus his video was like, well, she's dumb, she's stupid, she's a girl. You see the clear difference there.
Now talking about the culture war in Gamergate 2, but I've been talking about censorship in the video game industry and microtransaction problems and the awful way that developers and community managers have acted for years at this point, and I will continue to do so. You can sit here and call me a mental lightweight, but you don't know me. You have not watched all of the 4,000 pieces of content uploaded on my channel. I stream 20 hours a week. I put up 15 videos a week. I have done that for years now. So you can call me a mental lightweight, but I'm going to keep it a buck. I know more about the current state of the video game industry than you have known about the video game industry in the last 15 years. You are
Damn. She's going in. And what's insane is like his insults just really like if you're going to insult, man, like the best insults are best off of are best when they're based off of facts. And so he's like just calling out the superficial stuff, like this first level, he's like playing on level 1 and she's playing on level 6 or 7. She's like, man, that was okay.
completely out of touch with gamers. You are completely out of touch with how people feel, and you genuinely do not care. You don't care about listening to people. You don't care about listening to me. You do not care about listening to the people that you would need them to swipe their credit cards if you decide to ever get off your ass and make another game.
Yeah. She's just these left hooks. Left and right hooks, man. See, man, oh man, I'm telling you,
is embarrassing yourself, bringing up the way that I look, bringing my gender into this conversation. Why does my gender matter? I'm not sitting in this chair because I'm a woman. I have worked hard on my channel for 5 years. It's not because of my hair that people subscribe. It's not because of my face that people subscribe. It's because of the takes that I have, and again, they are takes that I genuinely believe in. So you can sit here and you can say this all you want, but you're really just making yourself look even worse than you really already do. And in a previous video, he told me to go fuck myself, lady. My mind is fine. It doesn't really seem so. And even after all of this, all of the rude comments and insults, he came into one of my gaming streams to try to stir the pot and try to reel me into one of his debates, because that's just what he does. He tries to get people to get on a live stream in yelling matches, which is his MO.
Yeah, when I saw him on side scrollers, it was crap. Like he was just talking in circles. It was like he was intentionally trying to talk past, the hosts and stuff and Melanie Mac and them. And it was just like, what is this dude doing? And the same tactics, like, I just know more about it than you do, kind of thing.
Tries to corner people into debates because he's really only looking for clout instead of, trying to have an amicable discussion on a matter, because he clearly knows, and I know, that we are never going to see eye to eye. We're never going to agree. But having a discussion and each one of us stating our opinions is still an okay thing to do, but it's just not what he's looking to do, and it's not what he's done in the past. He just wants to scream at people about how wrong they are, and maybe one day this will change, but at this point in time, that's the way that he works. And I've always said, if someone wants to have a discussion live, I'm willing to do it. I've said it to Alyssa, I've said it about people like Anita Sarkeesian and others, but that's something he could have just reached out on a platform like Xabout, not in a gaming stream. When I'm streaming a video game, I'm trying to show off a game and show you guys what's great about it or what's bad about it. I'm not there to talk about drama, but after my stream, I did what I said, which was go and attempt to reach out to him, but I can't even DM him on X because he doesn't follow me and his DMs are closed, so I guess it just is what it is. I can't set up any sort of discussion stream with him, and at this point, I just don't see a way that this is going to happen. Maybe he'll reach out to my business email, otherwise, I think that idea is dead. Now he's getting raked across the coals by the internet. People are putting up videos like Hypnotic. He put up coverage on this. Shout out to him. I had put up this tweet thread that's gotten, 300,000 views nearly, and people are pointing and laughing. Asmon Gold said, can you tell him to react to my video too, so I'll have content for tomorrow?
Yeah, tell him to react to my video too. I'm an itty bitty YouTube channel. I need all the help I can get.
And I just responded with, one of your greatest talents is being able to react to anything. Just predict what he's going to say. That shouldn't be too hard, given it's the same talking points from anybody defending the mainstream industry, and react to what he could say. Be 2 steps ahead. Savvy had said he still can't answer how a YouTuber prevented the target audience from buying the game. Waste of time. That one is, yeah, he could at least clear...
Stuttering Craig, that's the guy of... who runs side scrollers. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. I blanked on it.
Point out and lay out.
Yeah, I think that's the gist of her video. Yeah, so to wrap this thing up, basically, there's the drama that's going on in the internet world when it comes to this David Jaffe and Vara Dark and all them. So yeah, I thought I'd cover that. I thought it was really interesting because, man, I've always loved God of War, and I remember seeing him on that podcast before, and I just thought, man, this guy's crazy. And so when I saw this pop up and seeing it making the rounds, I just thought, is this guy really just... And it was about Dragon Age, the Veilguard or whatever, and that is just one of the worst games I've ever seen. I haven't played it, so I can't really say for sure through experience, but everything, like all the scenes that I've seen through the game, and to kind of make this statement of like, well, it was YouTubers who caused the game to fail or whatever, and then to go after her like this, like the dude is really falling off, man. Like he just, I don't know, he just kind of needs a reality check or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's got some really bad takes. Anywho, though, I wanted to cover the story, and that's what's going on in the gaming news, just to keep you guys updated. If you did like this video and you're still watching, I really do appreciate that. It helps out the channel, and it would really help if you also please hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when my new videos drop. All you do is got to make a YouTube account, which is free, and subscribing is also free. I talk about movies, TV shows, gaming, anime, and all kinds of pop culture stuff, and I try to upload 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great freaking day.